and so many. Today is this, tomorrow it's that, and as time is going, so many people are even getting familiar with, oh, another school children have been abducted, another school children have been abducted, and the news continues on and on. The long term of this Safe School initiative was to improve the safety of schools by providing school guards for people. So it since this has been said in 2015, it's really good that Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala said, according to what she said she had a meeting with President Muhammadu Buhari and the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning in person of Mrs. Zainab Hamad. So she's reminding them that this particular initiative has been on ground before. Let us continue. Why don't you? Um, you've abandoned it for a while. Why don't you try to use it again so that it can help? And this, like I was saying earlier, would help school. We provide school guards for schools, training staffs as school safety officers, and so on and so forth. And I think this is one of the things these children, these schools need at this time.
Yeah, thank you, Mojisola. You see, from the story, I got to understand that they are going to do this in collaboration with the coalition of Nigerian business leaders. And this to me, I think it's very thoughtful. And I want to also admonish our various governors to make our schools safer for the girl child, because they are obviously more vulnerable. Looking at the stories that we have been reading coming from that part of the country, the northern part of the country, out of all of the schools, about 4 or 5 schools that students have been abducted, only one was happened to be a boys' school.
Yes, the rest are all girls.
But then you see, seriously, the incident abduction of female students should be brought to a halt. Like she said, it's an assault on education in this country. And it further exposes the fact that our leaders and various relevant agencies are not putting action to their duty calls. Okay, let us look at education inspectors. I remember as a student then, they used to come to the school once they come spot checking. They just sometimes so that they can probably run into something that is not proper and then take care of issues. So I've been asking myself, are they not doing their duty? Are they not doing their job? Because as an education inspector, they are to monitor and evaluate academic performances and development in schools. So when you talk about development in schools, we're looking at maintaining and improving on quality of learning of students, okay? And they are generally to improve all factors that will affect teaching and learning, which includes security. So, government is somewhere in the state, and these schools that have been attacked are somewhere in the extremities of the state. So if the agencies like the people from the education department that are supposed to inspect schools, if they give feedback to the government, I think probably the government will have a better understanding of the state of security in the schools. And then if they don't do anything, then we can begin to blame the governors. But you see, in most cases, we don't have these people. They hardly visit schools. So I wonder what they do in their offices. Because you see, when you have a school, and if you check out most of these schools, just like Madam Okonjo-Iweala said, look at their perimeter fencing. Some of them don't even have.
So they don't even have school walls.
Yes, no perimeter fencing. So the school is vulnerable to attack at any point in time. They don't have power supply. Maybe it is epileptic. You understand? So then most of these schools are situated in suburbs, in the villages where the government have not been able to extend development to. So all of these things have to be, looked into, because you want to establish a school in a place. You're not thinking about the security of the students. It is a boarding school. It's not a day school where, okay, during the day, everywhere is still bright, everybody will go home. You have boarding houses, you don't supply power, you don't, there is no perimeter fencing, there is no security around that area. The best they would have is police post. And police posts, you know, they don't really have, even the big police stations will tell you they don't have enough, equipment to fight crime. So all of these things we need to look into it, and it is a good thing that she has brought it back to the fore because this thing was discussed 2014 when around the time they abducted Chibok girls.
Chibok girls, yes. 24 minutes past 12, and we're still discussing this that Okonjo Iweala 6 Safe Schools initiatives restart to curb abduction. And Ibn Abba Dixon is over the phone with Ibn Abba has said, definitely, because the fact that this particular initiative has been on ground since 2014, all we just have to do is like you're taking an old note just for you to dust it and try to follow what has been said there, and it should be followed keenly so that this insecurity issue can come to a halt in Nigeria totally. And you can join the conversation on 07000 917 917. You can call us so that we can hear what you have to say about this. And just text or send us a WhatsApp message on 070 56537 in case you do not want to call. And while we're still so that because it's story still, but it's a women's story. That's why we're Auckland women's prison inmate alleges guard sexually abused her. And when I was reading this story, I was like, this is devastating. That the fact that she was able to come out after she had left the prison, that's when she could open up. And this didn't happen once or twice. She said multiple times. That was when she was abused by the guard. So, okay, someone is being accused of a particular crime. The person gets jailed, gets a sentence, goes to prison. And then at the end of the day, when this person is in prison, what's happening? The guard is the one who is sexually abusing this person. Is anywhere now safe for the girl child? Even about Dixon.
Okay. You see, it's so unfortunate that things like this are happening, and they are not new. It's no news. What am I saying is, as bad as it is happening every day. It could be happening just as we are discussing it right now, somewhere in one of our correctional centers. And unfortunately, nobody gets to listen to them because they are already condemned. You understand? Probably, you have to serve a term of 4 years, 3 years, or whatever. As long as you are alive in that prison, as long as you are not, even if it is a life sentence, you have to spend the rest of your life in the correctional center. You are not meant to be subjected to this abuse, sexual abuse. You still have a right.
I really want to. So that we can have this call. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, Moji, how are you?
I'm very fine. Chivagozie.
Hope you are eating.
Yeah, Chivagozie, I've eaten. Thank you very much.
You know what? The fact is that the discussion is a very good one and all of that, you understand. But the fact of the issue is that the leader, they will not show any kind of concern because their children are not schooling here. That is the issue. To me, I don't even believe. I don't believe that they know that people are existing. You understand me? Because they are so fabulous and they do whatever they like with the money there. They don't care for the citizens. Go to some of the schools. You see that they don't even have a dust chair. And either you find 80, 100 people inside the class. You understand me? When they are children's school, you may not find more than 50 or 20 inside a very big class. You understand me? So that is why things are like that in Nigeria. But it's high time we should wake up. You understand? And let these people know that they cannot continue to be enslaving us like that. You understand me? We have to do it ourselves. We don't continue to call it God, but I know God is there. God will have, God will also assist us. It's part of these people out of power.
Thank you very much, Chief Agozie. Okay, you can call us on 07000 or just text or send a WhatsApp message to us on 0706537 to join this conversation. Panorama, minutes past 12, and I want to us to continue what we are talking about concerning the second story of these prisoners. I remember yesterday you were still talking about prisons being called correctional centers. That when they call it
Exactly.
that, it's because I remember we're discussing a story yesterday and we're like, oh, why don't you call a prison a correctional center so that the way you sound prison is sounding so high and lofty that people are scared of it. And at the end of the day, this might even be happening in Nigeria, which we do not know about. Like I said, it might be happening to someone right now. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mojisola.
Good afternoon. What's your name?
My name is Ambrose
Okay, Ambrose. You're calling us from.
Mowe.
Okay, what are your thoughts concerning
Good
this two?
afternoon, Professor.
No, now, Bruce, the ambassador.
I greet Tifa Gosby. Um, I greet him wherever he is. You see, myself and Binabo, we have always disagreed. They say in Panorama is where we is it dissect.
Yes, we dissect. We agree to disagree on topical issues of the day.
And I want to disagree with her
Okay.
on the area of government.
Mm.
We are just wasting our time. Even when president gives orders, they are not carried out. This is not a matter of being pessimistic. This is a matter of a record over years. That's why I say we have disagreed before. But we say let us just give them the benefit of the doubt. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala is somebody we know that has integrity, and then we have seen she's been tested and trusted. But when it comes to government, you see, you don't address issues when you left the important things. How do I mean? What are the reasons for insecurity? After all, we went to schools now. There was no fence. I schooled in the bush in the old Kwara State, now in Kogi State, in a place called Mopa.
Okay.
And then we were cohabiting with Fulanis. And there was no problem. The issues have not been addressed. And so if you, whatever way that you try, this insecurity will persist until, just like Ifa Gozi said, politicians learn to be transparent, until politicians learn to be accountable, and until politicians learn that we have voted them into power not to come and siphon our money, but to develop. And now I'm also canvassing that we secure this country. Any politician should not travel out of this country after being elected. For the next 10 to travel out. If they are sick, let them be. Their children should not travel out. Their wives should not travel out. Because why am I saying this? Whatever is happening abroad can be replicated here. Every good thing that we see in US, in Europe, they can be replicated here if we take some standard measures. But who is going to take it? People are telling us anytime we call upon God, we call upon God. Who will I call upon? Is it the person that is saying every time we call upon God, does he or she have any power to change anything?
Thank you very
we can only
much.
call upon God in a country like this, so we cannot. We don't have any choice.
Thank you very
Thank
much,
you,
Mr. Ambrose.
Professor.
Okay, have a great day. Okay, Ibn Abba, I'd love to have your final words on this. You already heard Mr. Ambrose. He said he's not agreeing with you that when are we going to wait? government will do something to give them the benefit of doubt.
Okay, you see, I'm limiting my thoughts on the topic of discussion. Okay, severally, I have said on this platform and in other places that until the government decides to address the core reason for the heightened criminal activities, the level of criminal activities in the country, we will just be paid. It will seem as if we are paying lip service to all of this. However, we have said this severally. It's beginning to sound like a broken record, like government should address the issue of unemployment. Government should address the issue of like if you're looking at that part of the country we're talking about, we're looking at the majority children. These are children who are homeless. They have been abandoned. That was not the core ideology of that kind of system. But due to whatever reason, these children have been left to fend for themselves. They are vulnerable and they are easily conscripted into criminal activities. So, having said that, we have advised governors to look around their states, mop up these children and put them in schools and take care of them. Give them the basic necessities so that they are not easily taken to criminal activity. Having said that, we are looking at schools now. Why are these schools so vulnerable, to the point that every now and then the students have been abducted? I'm looking at this girls' school now. It's because of the way the schools are. Even as we are addressing the issue of, the core reasons for this upsurge of criminal activities, we should look at the state of these schools. Some of them do not have perimeter fencing. Some of them have perimeter fencing. The fencing is so low that you can jump over it into the school compound, which is bad enough because you are putting little children, little girls into the school where the power supply. So they live in darkness. They live. They go about with their lanterns. How far could they see if any danger is approaching? So the government needs to look into all of that. So whatever has been discussed concerning securing those schools, there is nothing new there. It is just the fact that we don't do the right thing at the right time. However, looking at other aspects of what we are discussing, I would like to say that there is need for the government to stand as a government. That's why we have government in place. For things to be done accordingly. Okay. We have the is there, the place of the parents is there, the place of the government is there
too.
We can only in my house I have burglar bars all over the place. I have security person. I have this. I have that. But even after all that, people who are put such in place still experience burglary. You understand? So
yes.
There is so much the government should do, and government should be responsible to their obligation to the citizens. For this, just to quickly address the prison.
The prison one. I'll just have that in 30 seconds.
Exactly. You see, one of the consequences of imprisonment is the limitation placed on the personal liberty of the prisoner.
Okay.
And, I am appealing to our lawmakers to look. I'm not a lawyer, so I'm not going to be banned. A prisoner is not completely condemned. You have changed the name from prison yard to correctional center. They are supposed to be there to change their ways, to become better persons. So if you put them in a prison where even the prison wards
will be safe,
abusing them sexually and otherwise,
okay,
then what do we get in return? So I'm appealing to the look into this and make sure that you are being sent to a correctional center does not mean your life must end there. You are there to change to a better person, not to come out and become a worse person. So they need to make that place worthy of what it is being addressed.
Okay.
Correctional center. It should be a correctional center indeed. That is my opinion. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Binabot Dixon, as always. Have a great day. Yes. Okay, so we're still discussing this, and you can call us on 07000 or just text and send a WhatsApp message to us on 070 317 56537. We'll reach Buki Femi Ajala so that she can give it, because I really want Buki to thrash this out. She was telling us yesterday about a particular agency that is in charge of making prisoners, as they come out from prisons, so that they will have a better shelter, not just that, a better orientation, mental health, their mental health is protected. And this is needed also in Nigeria. Even though this story is not a Nigerian story, we have to look at this holistically. Good afternoon. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
Good afternoon, Doctor. From
Fee. Good afternoon.
yeah, good afternoon. I just want to ask a question. Where is our first lady, Aisha Buhari?
Hmm.
We've not been hearing from her. We are told that whether she's somewhere in Dubai, what is she doing there? The first lady of Federal Republic of Nigeria, nobody is hearing for her. At least she has a role to play here in Nigeria.
Hmm.
We are not hearing anything from our first lady, which is totally wrong. Like this issue of this prisoners being as molested in the prison and all that. At least this one will be the role of our the first lady. She understand addressing such issues.
Mm-hmm.
She understand that
Yes.
nobody is hearing anything from the first lady. And how can a country Nigeria, we are not hearing anything from our first lady? I don't really get it. I don't understand. Like what Mr. Abu said, this our leaders have been hard work. We don't even have leaders. Our rulers, my dear sister, they don't have. In fact, we should not just believe in them. They don't have anything for us. We are just waiting. I'm just thanking God that the days and the months they are not counting front. One day, this administration will just finish and we'll get another administration. And I know by the grace of God, this administration will never come back to power again. They have disappointed Nigeria. They have made Nigeria to. You know that this administration, they are mocking Nigeria. They are mocking us. They are not celebrating us. They are mocking Nigeria. And Nigeria, they have been from the mocking that they are mocking us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Efe. Buki, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good
Good afternoon,
afternoon.
Mochi. Good
Yes.
afternoon, Panorama family.
Yes, welcome. Okay, I want you to
Thank
take this
you.
particular story. That is former Auckland women's prison inmate alleges God sexually abused her. And I remember yesterday we're discussing something similar. You said you have a place where you were mentioning a particular place where what Kamala Harris did in the United States of America when she was the Attorney General, that it's been replicated in Nigeria. Because if inmates, when they're in prison, they can be sexually abused. These are the stories we are hearing. At the end of the day, maybe there are other stories that are yet to be heard, possibly maybe in Nigeria too. Where is the girl child now? Where is the safe place for the girl child? Out prison, there is trouble. In prison, there is trouble.
Okay, well, there are many dimensions. You mentioned yesterday that I belong to Prison Fellowship of Nigeria, and our course really is to support, what the government is doing, to those that are in the correctional facility. They've changed it from prison to correctional facility. So we're there to give support. And I also know that some government, I give it to Lagos State, that in terms of the girl child, you have also safe places for children, where you find the likes of those that you probably think, well, don't let me use their school, between 3, 4 to about 18 years, where they are kept, and the children that probably they pick from the street, and they're having issues and they're in court, and so there's a self custody place where they can keep the children while that is happening, while they're trying to sort out things. So there are quite a lot of people in there, various ways. So, but the girl child is protected. It's not just the girl child; we also have the boys in there as well. But for the story of today, it calls for concern. Really, it really calls for concern. If you want to ask me, does such happen in the Nigerian prisons? Well, maybe protect. But I also know that with this reform, part of what the government is also doing is to reform the officers that are in charge, that their mindset should move away from prison to correctional. So anybody in their kitty, you have this correctional skills, that they deliver it there. And they have welfare officers, that are doing their best, So we only need to support what the government is doing. And that's why we have quite a lot of organizations that are partnering with them. There are quite a lot of organizations that will come in to do character class. We come in, the agency, we come in to talk about, there's a program called Sycamore Tree Project. There is one that called the TPJ, the Business Journey, and then quite a lot of counseling and, discipleship, all just to ensure that their minds are renewed and they go through that correctional phase. I did mention yesterday that what we are trying to come up with is a halfway home, because we know that quite a lot of them, when they move out, they don't want to go back to where they're coming from, because a couple of them will tell you that if I go back to where I'm coming from, I will still end up in the facility. So that's why we're looking at that, to have safe place. We want to call it halfway home, where you are reintegrated and you're corrected and your mindset is put together before you move into the world. Yes, so that was what I was trying to explain yesterday.
Okay, thank you very much. I would love to have your thoughts on this. Okonjo Iweala seeking, she seeks safe school initiatives restart to curb abduction. This text is from one of our you didn't give us your name, but please, when you send us a text or WhatsApp message, kindly send us your name and where you're texting or WhatsApping us from. Schools are vulnerable because followers who appointed people in government didn't do it with a sincere heart, but for what they get from them during election. I have come to understand that leaders are reflections of their followers. Until we have good followers, government in Nigeria will not work. And I want us to take that from there, because this particular forum has been the Safe Schools Initiative, which was launched in 2014. And Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala is saying they should reform it, they should start it again so that it would help, because this upsurge of girls, school children missing every now and then needs to come to a halt in Nigeria.
Yeah, I totally agree with her. I mean, she's a Nigerian. Yeah, she's occupying a global space, but she's a Nigerian and she's here to visit. And yes, I mean, as a Nigerian, you have the platform. You have that blood that will say, hey, how do I help my nation? And so she is just using that opportunity to put to remembrance, to make them to remember some of the things that had worked in the past, initiatives that they had started that can actually help. So it's not out of place. I give kudos to her. But the question now is it a very good suggestion? Yes, 100% is good. Can we do it? Yes, we can do it. Do we have the resources to do it? Yes, we have the resources to do it. The question is, are we ready to do it?
That's a multi-dollar question.
Yes, because the truth is that we don't even have to wait for her to come and visit us before we know what to do. You understand? If the experts will have sat down to say, how are these people being adopted? I can only imagine when somebody will adopt 300. It's either they use quite a lot of motorbikes or they use vans or buses or something. And how those schools are built, you will see. I mean, there's a small community around that it will be visible, that they are cutting these children away. Even if it's in the night, there will be torchlights and things like that. And then there will and things like that. So the issue is, can we come up with, yes, well, yes, sit down and look at what they have done before and now embellish it, update it to the present reality. We do not have walls. It is not to have walls, and not just walls, secured walls, where even if you have to break, the alarm will. So they have to sit down with security experts, in these alarms into it. And then, of course, even the children, where they are, it should take some space. Not that you are entering the gate and you are immediately seeing building. There should be some space where you have to walk through, to get to where the children are. Even where the children are, it has to be secured as well. There has to be, well, call it gates or something. It's just to build up that security. So when they are in there, there should be alarms. If there is anything wrong somewhere, there should be alarms. And now you have alarms that are linked to the nearest police station. We have that in Lagos State. I mean, I don't know about other states, but I know we have that. So they should begin to put all those infrastructures in where, if there is anything, I mean, somebody can easily go to where those alarms are, and press, and it rings in the nearest whatever. And then, of course, we also talk about the security of the children in terms of their mindset. When things happen, what do they do? They need to begin to have those kind of conversations with those children, even with their teachers, with their counselors, and then, of course, the security guard. So now, any security guard that they want to bring into the education space should be taught what to do. So it's not just hiring anybody who does not have any job to do. Even if you want to hire, send them to a security school where they will teach you, what to do in such instances. And also, we need to give them the adequate resources. I also agree that you could actually have places where they are demarcated for education. So if they have to relocate from schools, why not? They just have to relocate from schools, because we are talking about our future here. We're talking about development, and we're talking develop when you educate your children. We cannot go backwards. We can only move forward. So if it means they have to create schools, if they have to relocate schools, to these safe communities, fine. Then put, the police post in there. Some that even if something is coming, you will know. And then, of course, you need to use the drone. You need to drone, sensors. When you see something different, coming into a space, you quickly attack. So it's all about security, technology, the mindset. We can deploy resources as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
This is our future.
Okay, definitely our future, because that's part of the things Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala said. She said, because this abduction of schoolgirls and young ones is unacceptable, and it's a warning that our future can be in jeopardy. And I want you to answer that multi-million naira question: that are the government ready to put this initiative that has been on ground since 2014, are they ready to put it into action? It's a good initiative. It's a good one that Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala is reminding the president, and Mrs. Zainab Ahmed, who is the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, reminding them that, okay, these things has been in place when the Chibok girls were captured in 2014. You can put it into action to make sure this surge, this rise comes to a halt, reduce, and at the end of the day is everyone is happy to go. Parents can send their children to school without feeling any fear. So that's why I want to have your final words on that. Do you think the government is ready to put this into action?
See, I will be blunt. I don't think they're ready. You see, a ready government will do what he needs to do. You remember, even when our president visited his home, they struck. They struck. That is an insult. There and then, they should have sat down to say, this should not happen again anywhere. So what are the things we need to do? And then move into it. Now look at the series of events that have happened. It's like It's constant. It's constant. And the next thing, which to me is a layman's approach, is let us pay ransom. How long are you going to pay ransom? How long? How long are you going to do this? That's why I said I am not sure. If they are ready, we should begin to see changes. Okay, now Ungazi has said something now. Let us see what they are going to do. Are they going to go and dust those books and update it, bring the experts in there? There are specialties, even in the field of education. You have those who know how to build a school in terms of security. And then you now have the people that are in the tech spaces. You now bring in the people that are security conscious. The three people sit down together and come up with a structure that this is what we're going to do. And they deploy resources into that. Let us even start with what they have. All those schools that do not have fences, let them start building fences. Let them start putting in the resources, get the alarm system, put it with the nearest police station. If there has to be, let them look at how many schools are in the area and strategically position the security whatever in there. These are the things that we expect to see. We do not want to hear that they have come again to adopt any child again. We are tired of this. Our children should be safe.
Thank you very much, Buki Femi Ajala, for as usual, your contribution on Panorama. Do have a great day.
Thank you so much. Thank you, family.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. Okay, and this is where I get to say bye-bye to you. Do not forget that the afternoon belt is about to get started. Yep. Okay, that is Roberta, the brown...
Ruby Rudy, the brown skin girl for life any day, anytime. We're taking over from here.
Okay, now I really want to have your... I'm fine. You?
And how was the show today, Panorama?
Fine. Okay, now I really want to have your thoughts concerning what we just discussed. To look at it.
And what was that?
Which is about the Chibok girls, how they were captured, and look at how it has the upsurge has started happening in Nigeria right now. With today it's another school, tomorrow it's another school, and so on and so forth. And Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala saying that this can come to a halt. She gave some ideas to the President Muhammadu Buhari. What are your thoughts on those things?
Well, first and foremost, I would want to say that yes, this Chibok girls have actually the issue has been going on for a very long time. We all know that, and now it has led to several other abduction of our sisters, of our daughters. Okay, and now Okonjo-Iweala has gone to the presidential villa to give her own advice and thoughts. My own point is this: is this advice going to be strictly adhered to? Are you going to take up actions? Because it's enough of talk and talk. Let's start doing something.
Let's start doing something.
These are our sisters. These are our daughters. We need to work on ourselves, and we need to start making sure that measures have been taken to ensure the safety of every child. Every child, I repeat, female and male, every child.
Okay, talking about action. So what do you have for us today?
Okay, talking about actions, from the hour of 1, we've got the music playlist. Then down to 2, we've got Hot Talk program with Ruby Rudy. Yeah. And also from 3, we've got the news at 3. Down, we have your music playlist. Then at the hour of 4, we've got the Big Tune Show running down to 5. 5, we've got another music playlist down to 6, Evening Experience that has been done by Josh Namdo. And then that runs till 8. And from the hour of 9, we've got the news at 9, heading down to Adult Conversations. And after that, we've got music all the way.
All the way, and this is where I get to say bye-bye. Panorama from
Adios.
Panorama 12:15 to 1 every weekday. I'll see you again tomorrow. My name is Mojisola Talks. A big thank you to my producer, Esther Larabe. Good afternoon.
To sponsor this program, please call 080-9058-2769.
Mental health is not a destination, it's a process. Introducing Safe Space on Women Radio 91.7, a safe space where we give light in the midst of depression, anxiety, stress, and other mental health issues. Safe Space every Friday, 6 p.m. on Women Radio 91.7. A safe space for you, for me, for us, where we speak our truth.
You better mind yourself, oh, mind yourself, oh boy. No look like for here. Baby,